Hey, this is Andy Brown from Exam Pro, and we are on to our availability follow-alongs. And one thing we should understand is availability sets. Now, this is basic knowledge. I share this in the AZ900, but if you're doing something like the administrator or a lot of the other exams, you need to know how to utilize this. So we're just going to cover it again, and mostly in the context of also scale sets. So I just want to pull up one page for you. And this is a very important page that you should know for SLAs for virtual machines, because it describes the different kinds of combinations of things to meet certain requirements. And especially on the administrator, you're definitely going to see questions saying, you know, if you have X, Y, Z, how do you achieve 99.5% availability? And you need to know whether you can use a scale set or availability set, a combination of things, okay? So that is something that is really important. But just to do a review of availability sets, what I'm going to do is pull up the documentation, because they have a nice graphic here. And the idea is that you have fault domains and update domains. So this is like a stack of computers, a rack of computers. And the idea is that there are some machines that are going to be scheduled for updates, and then some have a potential of failure, right? So if everything is in this fault domain, then if all this fails, then the server, the redundant server over here will remain running. And then within the rack, if an update occurs on just this one, then these other ones will remain fine. So that is something we can specify when we create our virtual machine. So I'm going to go through the motions here. We're not going to go and actually launch the virtual machine because there's not a lot to look at here, but I want you to know about these settings. So under availability options, notice here it says availability zone. So physically separate your resources within an Azure region. And then down below, they have automatically distribute your VMs across multiple fault domains. So it's a bit odd that like they don't have scale set here. It's in preview because it's definitely something you can use. But I guess they're just going to add it as convenience. But these are your availability settings. So if I go to availability set, you'd have to create a new one. And here you're just specifying the amount of fault domains and update domains. All right. And so I believe when you create a scale set, it has 5 and 5 by default. And then here, when you're creating an availability set, there's a bit of flexibility. But the difference between scale sets and availability sets is an availability set, the VM, they're all the same. So you're not going to have a variety of different kinds. It also has automatic scaling, and it's defaulted to 5 to 5. So I just want to be sure that you know how to create an availability set, and then you just launch the instance. So it all look like normal. So there we go.